Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Pez of the Mind. I am James Phoenix, and today we're going to take a look. Well, I should probably introduce the month first. This month, for the month of October, not of Halloween, we're going to be reviewing all things Goosebumps. Of course, the
Goosebumps.
boop, 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 boop. Of course, the hit horror book series adapted into a television show, movies, games, all kinds of other stuff like that from the mid '90s. And now we're going to do some videos talking about the various aspects of the franchise. With me is Chriz the Mole,
Hello.
and we are going to go ahead and use this episode to discuss just a general discussion of the book series.
I also want to give a shout out to the fact it was a stage play.
I heard about that. I'd like to see that. I don't know if they're doing it over here.
I still have the book somewhere, and I think it's around here somewhere, but I have the book from when it was a play.
Nice.
Because my school went to see that. It was Goosebumps live on stage.
Cool.
Seeing if I can find it. If I can't, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think it's here. That's
Fair
a
enough.
random Mickey Mouse Christmas one. No. Yeah, I'll just leave it. I'll leave it for now. But yeah, it was, like I said, it was a stage play. Goosebumps live on stage. It was pretty awesome.
Nice. But yes, of course, in the series over the years, there have been over 180 Goosebumps books in a variety of formats, ranging from the original one-off tales to combination, multiple books in a one shot, to give yourself Goosebumps, to
Goosebumps
reboots,
Horrorland.
Goosebumps Horrorland series,
Goosebumps 2000.
Goosebumps 2000, Goosebumps Slappy World. That's the current one. Books based on the movie, just all kinds of stuff.
Books based on the play.
Books based on the play. Just so many adventures. Meant to scare, but not be too scary.
Yep. He said he took inspiration from Stephen King and all for horror films. And he thought, I can do that, but for kids.
And he succeeded.
He did.
So we're just going to have a little bit, we're talking about a little more Goosebumps. It's going to be a more general discussion. We will be doing other Goosebumps reviews throughout the month. We'll be looking at the movie, we'll be looking at the TV series, and at the end of closer to the end of the month, we'll be doing the final countdown of our top 5 Goosebumps stories, where we'll go into a little more detail about our particular favorite stories.
And the game.
And the video game, yes. Point and click adventure. Available now on the PlayStation Store.
Yep, and Xbox Live. And Steam, I believe.
Oh, nice.
But I wouldn't recommend buying it. More on that when we get to it, but still.
I like it so far.
It's better than the mini game collection on Wii.
Oh yeah, it was Horrorland, wasn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, there's been a series of books. I'll admit I haven't read every book.
No, I haven't even come close.
Yeah. But there's been various series I did enjoy. Like, to go with the non-traditional ones, because they're going to be the ones we discussed the most, probably. I enjoyed Give Yourself Goosebumps, because I always like those choose-your-own-adventure stuff. I enjoyed the book of the play. I also enjoyed, from Goosebumps 2000, Bride of the Living Dummy. But I'm going to be honest, I'm just going to say it right now, the Living Dummy stuff is my favourite. I love Slappy and all. I love all of them. I think all the ones I've read.
Yeah.
Because there might be a couple I haven't.
Yeah, I can see why that. Of course, Slappy is generally known as being the monster, quote unquote, from the Goosebumps series. There's always the main villain in compilation things like the movie. So.
Yep. Although this is probably like I said, this cover here is the most interesting one I find.
Oh my.
No, with Horrorland, you do see Slappy,
Yeah.
However, Horrorland and the monsters from Horrorland, I feel, became the mascot for the longest time. At one point, everything you bought had to be Horrorland related,
Oh yeah, totally.
and the monsters related to them.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's cool now. Slappy seems to be more everywhere, mainly probably because of his role in the film.
Yeah. Which was I think he looked he was a lot. He was better in the movie than he was in a TV series.
I enjoyed him in the TV show.
It was okay. I didn't like the fact that in a TV show he didn't look like Slappy. That was my concern.
To be fair, it was a book. We didn't know what he looked like.
He was on the cover.
Depending on which ones you buy.
Okay.
Because they also did a cover where it was literally the picture from the TV show.
Ah,
I have one of them.
fair enough.
But yeah, it was a thing on the cover, but I argue it's a cover of a book. They always make changes to books and stuff. Like if you look at like the Dragon Ball anime in the original manga, they made some color adjustments, changes that didn't work, some did.
Hmm.
It happens because if it's a book and it's just one cover, they went with what looked good for a kid's book or a kid's show, and Slappy looked awesome in it.
Fair enough. I like the way he looked in the movie. I thought that was much closer to
Oh,
what Slappy should look like.
I preferred how he looked in the movie. I just meant at the time watching the TV show, I thought he looked cool.
Fair enough.
But yeah, you had a lot of great stories.
Oh
But I
yeah.
mentioned my favourites were all the ones with Slappy, like Night of the Living Dummy 1, 2, 3, like Bride of the Living Dummy. He was in the stage play. He was in loads of stuff to do with it. Which
Yeah.
I like Slappy. I do like my Slappy.
Slappy is
How
good.
about you, Jim?
Oh man, I'm not to this day not sure if I've ever actually read any of the Living Dummy books. Somehow I would read.
I meant which was your favourite.
No, I know. I'm just saying for the record. I don't think I've ever actually so I can't say whether those are good or not. But a lot of the earlier ones, the classic ones, have always been my favorite. One Day at Horrorland has always been one I enjoyed. Stay Out of the Basement was always one that was really good, both as the book and the TV episode. We'll get to that in another review. Of course, the original one, Welcome to Dead House, which I actually had one of those compilations that had 3 in it. When you opened it, the book screamed. It had Welcome to Dead House, it had Stay Out of the Basement, and it had Say Cheese and Die.
Which, interestingly enough, wasn't Stay Out the Basement the last episode of the TV show?
Was it? I don't know. It might be.
To the wikis? No, I'm kidding.
No, I'll check it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really good one. The dad's the plant becomes replaced by a plant clone. That was really cool. Spoilers, you haven't read any Goosebumps books, by the way. Probably should have started with that.
Yeah. Now I will say that's a series I enjoyed.
What's that?
Say Cheese and Die 1 and 2.
Hmm.
I bought it because I started buying the Goosebumps books a little bit late, not like on their first print. So I bought a couple on first print, but not all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them I got right when the height of the popularity of the show hit.
Right.
So you had stuff like Slappy on the cover of one of my books, and
Nice.
I think he's on the cover of my double book, I believe, which is one half Night of the Living Dummy 2 or 3, and the second half is Say Cheese and Die 1. Which made me go out, well, say Cheese and Die 2, I think it was, which made me go out and buy Say Cheese and Die 1 to match it. Just so I had them all and read them before I read the second half of the book.
That makes sense.
But I love that one with the evil camera. You click, you take a picture and stuff like that's so cool.
That was cool. Let's see what else. The Haunted Mask is always a classic. That's a really good one. There's I like The Girl Who Cried Monster. That one was really fun because I didn't see the twist in that one coming, and I really like that.
I like that one.
That one's good. I'm trying to think what other ones there are. Oh, the what is it? The Night in Terror Tower. That was good.
Yep. I will admit those ones I kept showing before. The Horrorland series is pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten to read any of those, but they look and sound pretty cool. I also liked a lot of the, like you said, a lot of the Give Yourself Goosebumps. Those were always a lot of fun for me. Were you the kind of person that would keep your finger on the page so if you screwed up, you could go back?
I used to have a bookmark.
Ah, okay.
And I always used to keep that in there in case but I never used to. If I screwed up, I used to start from the beginning and go back through.
Okay.
Like I've still got my old one that's similar to that of the Sonic game book,
Okay then.
Sonic versus Sonic, where you have to use a dice and stuff for combat, and it's pretty cool.
Interesting.
But I like those choose your own adventure stuff. It's one of the reasons I love that Telltale series
Ah,
more on that this month with the Batman one. Like a
indeed.
Goosebumps Telltale series would have been fun. That's what they should have done instead of what they did.
They should have.
Because the game they released was just it's an obvious cash cow.
Yeah, pretty much.
But like I said, the books themselves were always fun to just sit down and read through.
They were, and that was what was great about it. Is you could just sit down and read it, and you didn't need anything else. It was a short one-off story. You could read it in one sitting if you were a decent reader, and it would scare you, but not so much that you were going to have nightmares.
Yeah.
That was good for the age range they were targeting.
Which was even funnier because at the time when I was a little kid, I watched horror films growing up because I had an older brother and he'd watch them, and it shouldn't, but I was watching like Alien. I watched Child's Play before I knew what Slappy was. Slappy's less scary in comparison, but
Yeah.
Chucky never scared me. I always loved Chucky. That's one of the reasons I
Mhm.
loved Slappy was I was like, oh my god, he's Chucky. I like Chucky.
See, that's what they should have done when that movie came out.
Hmm.
Slappy should have shown up on the WWE and insulted somebody.
Yeah, because it's not like WWE have ever interacted with puppets before.
Yeah.
But no, it's like I said, the books themselves they were good, and there was various stories. Like I said, like the Say Cheese and Die. The premise is so simple. There's a camera that when you take photos of people, they get fucked up.
Yeah,
Bad shit happens basically.
pretty much.
And that's simple. Night of the Living Dummy. It says it in the title. It's a living dummy. It's a dummy that comes alive and does
Yep.
evil. That's kind of cool. Like you said, the thing under what was it? The thing under the sink, whatever it was called.
Oh, it came from under the sink.
Yeah, that was a good story. I like that.
That was good. Yeah. Yeah, there's just so many fun little stories to read, and they're really good, and just yeah, just great stuff. And like I said, because they were so there were occasionally a sequel because most were self-contained. Even if you missed a few, you could pick one up and read it. That was what was great.
That was, and it was also there was like that was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, book series going when I was growing up was Goosebumps. Everyone did it. Like even if you couldn't afford them, people would go to the libraries and check out Goosebumps. Goosebumps, Where's Wally? Those two are the big ones.
Wally. For those of you
But
from my side of the pond, that would be
Waldo,
Waldo.
yeah. But
Yeah, whereas Wally was fun. See, over here, there was always the two side by side. It was Goosebumps and Animorphs.
see, we had Animorphs, but and don't get me wrong, there's probably a lot of people that read them. I just know in my school it was only Goosebumps
Fair enough. Like I said,
until
Animorphs.
until that age that nowadays actually has a classification of tween.
Ah,
In which case, Sweet Valley High books became big for the girls, and some boys got into those at the same time, and
mm,
that was pretty good. That's again, TV show.
yep.
Yep. Could there be two different girls who look the
Mm-hmm,
same at Sweet Valley? I assume
mm-hmm.
Jim watched that. But
No,
actually, no, I remember Jim didn't watch that.
no.
Which means Jim also missed the hilarious cross promotion I've mentioned in the past.
Is that the one where the Green Ranger Tommy was on the show?
He wasn't Green Ranger. This would have been around Zeo time, and
Ah.
he was mainly wearing red, and he had the bandana, and he was in a cool band and stuff. It was clearly, obviously, to try and capitalize and make boys stay and watch the show too. And personally, I liked the last series of that when it went more sitcom-y, where you had like Devon, whose parents got fucking killed when they hadn't been killed by him, and then you had the evil lawyer trying to take him out, and you had the cool scene where people touched his bike, So he picked up a 2x4 and just walked into the room. Next scene is him being arrested, and everyone telling you about how he went too far. And you're like, oh my god, you can just imagine what the fuck he did. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, Goosebumps. The book, like I said, the book series though, I've never seen a book series that was that big. Now, I know people would argue nowadays you got Harry Potter.
That's not nearly as big.
However, I would argue Harry Potter, while it is bigger in terms of in mainstream appeal, it's probably, if you compare the book sales to every Goosebumps book, because it had more of them,
Yeah.
it might be similar-ish numbers, and it still wasn't the same. Like kids may like Harry Potter, but it wasn't as much of, oh my god, we need to come home and watch Goosebumps. Oh my god, I finished watching Goosebumps and I need to go read Goosebumps. Oh my god, I'm talking to my friend. Let's discuss Goosebumps.
Yeah, I was in elementary, going in middle school for a few years. We were I went to a daycare after school because my parents were both working, and everybody would all the kids that were slightly older and in middle and high school would get to the day. Well, the high schools were like the people that worked there, but they would all come and everybody would rush to get their homework done because we would get there at like 3:15. Everybody would try to get their homework done by 4 o'clock because that was when Goosebumps came on.
Nice. Yeah, everyone when I was at school, everyone had to watch Goosebumps.
Indeed, but the TV show's a discussion for another video.
Yeah, but I just meant I was talking about the popularity of the books with it, of how big the
Oh yeah,
franchise became.
the books were huge, and there's always something new coming out, and that was what was great.
Yeah, and it's one of those things of like you mentioned with each one being self-contained as well. Let's just assume for a second Jim didn't like Night of the Living Dummy. Over here on the other side, he may like Horrorland. Or you don't like Horrorland, you may like, say, Cheese and Die that you mentioned, and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which means there's enough appeal with there's enough different stories. There's something for everyone.
Mm.
And it also hit at the right time too, because at the same time Nickelodeon was doing Are You Afraid of the Dark,
Hmm.
which made ghost stories big with kids, which means the books became bigger.
Oh yeah, totally.
But they were just fun books. They really were fun books. I mean, like I said, with this series here, the Horrorland, and it's not even all of them. The ultimate horror books for 8 to 12-year-olds. The first 10 books in this thrilling and frightening series will keep you on your edge of your seat with tales of slimy monsters, evil dummies, manic mummies, and creepy creatures. And let's just go to book one, just because I can. I haven't. I don't think I haven't opened these properly because we had a couple of these.
Hmm.
Because this box that was on sale, so I bought 3 of them. One for me, one for my niece, one for my nephew. Straight after going to see Goosebumps in the cinema.
Sweet.
There's the first one.
Nice.
As you can see on the back, Brittany Cosby thinks her cousin Ethan. There's the back, and you can see it's done like a theme park ticket.
Tickets, yeah.
It's pretty weird, and she happens to be right. Ethan won't stop tormenting Brittany with an old ventriloquist dummy, and the puppet has plans for Brittany too. Next, witches stare into the wooden face of fear, then enter a land of 1,000 horrors. Games, prizes, dummies. This book is your ticket to enterhorrorland.com.
Nice.
And as you can see there's no pictures like people would think there would be. And yeah, it's just stuff like that. Like just turning to a random page, you get stuff like, he span away from me and started walking out my room. He walked stiffly, not bending his knees, his shoulders teetering from side to side like a zombie in a horror film. So a horror movie. Frozen in terror, I couldn't move. Clump, clump, clump. I listened to him thump down the stairs. A few seconds later, I heard the front door close behind him. He's really doing it. He's going to the graveyard to get the doll, I realized. And that's the type of writing you get in Goosebumps too. As you can see there, it's not paying idiots. It's not being an idiot to stuff. And I'm not going to read it all because that'd be boring as fuck, so I'll stop reading. But I was just giving you people the idea of what the series was like. And like I said, that was cool. And I seem to have lost Jim.
Sorry, I was trying to see if I can find some Goosebumps.
Oh yeah, like I said, I was just reading an example and I caught like one paragraph randomly.
Yeah, I just can't remember which ones I even still have. I know I have some in here. Most of this box is Animorphs, but I think I saw.
Because like I said, they were good, and as you can see there on the side, you can see more collections of all of them. Like Simon, shout out to Simon, one of our friends. He mentioned he really likes the Haunted Mask.
Oh, here we go. It's over here on the way box. I have a pile here. Let's see. What do I got? Oh, see, these are all. Oh, these. Is this all? Okay, there's that one. I have these. Most of these I actually have are all these. They give yourself goosebumps. The choose your adventure ones.
Which they're always fun.
Yeah, I really like these. Escape from the Carnival of Horrors, TikTok, You're Dead, The Knight in Screaming Armor, Trapped in Batwing Hall, Under the Magician's Spell. I really like that one because it had creepy magic in it. I have a couple of these. This right here. I like to own this one. This is the first Goosebump I ever read. Cuckoo Clock of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Hear more about that in the final countdown. A Girl Who Cried Monster. I mentioned that one. That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Did I read these? Power Play, Give Yourself. Oh, these are the a different version of Give Yourself. This is Trapped in the Circus of Fear. That one was really creepy. And Werewolf of Twisted Tree.
And I will say to people listening as well, when we go to the final countdown, as much as I like them all, I will do my best to not just put all living dummy books. Because there's been too many. I'm like, that's too easy. I'm going to try and make different stories.
Yeah, you could do a top 10 list of all living dummy books. And also calling all creeps.
And you can tell, like I said, you can tell that it's based off Chucky.
Yep.
Because look at the time Goosebumps 2000 came out with Bride of the Living Dummy. And then when you cut to the cinema, Bride of Chucky was out.
Yep.
I think they also did Son of Slappy around the time as Seed of Chucky.
Probably. That wouldn't shock me in the slightest. Box. Piece of junk.
Which I will say, for the record, that's one nitpick I will say.
Okay.
The books weren't as imaginative as people think.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them were just taking horror stories, existing stories, and just readapting them.
Yeah.
And just turn, like, for lack of a better term, making them worse. Because don't get me wrong, I loved Night of the Living Dummy, but like I said, Child's Play is a much better story.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that per se, and at least he was honest, saying he was inspired by other horror films, so that's cool.
Indeed. But yeah, the Goosebumps series, like I said, there's over 180 books out there. You'll find one you like, pretty much guaranteed. If you like a little bit of horror, check it out. Some version of these are, they've re-released the originals in different covers and everything else. Some versions are available at your local library or in a bookstore near you. Check them out. They're just great little fun, and you can sit down and do them, in a session. And they're and like I said, they're great for all ages because they're not that big. So you can take one of these and you can hand this to a kid learning to read, and he can probably read this in a night, maybe two, depending on reading level. So it's great for everybody.
Yep, and I will say, check out Amazon. Mainly because I've seen collections of like that one I've got there, but with 2 extra books in it, which completes the entire series. Really fucking cheap on Amazon, or people just doing big collection box sets and stuff. So
yeah,
you can get like a big bulk buy more cheaper on Amazon than you can in bookstores. Because don't get me wrong, bookstores aren't bad. I don't hate bookstores.
No,
but online is always cheaper, sadly.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And I've seen that on eBay too, where people will butt us say, "Oh, I've got 50 Goosebumps I collected over the years, and I don't want anymore. I'll sell them to you for $100." Stuff like that.
Oh yeah, but the ones I was about on Amazon would be like official box sets they brought out, and they'd be new.
Gotcha.
So you could buy like 10 books all brand new in like a Goosebumps chest or something.
Fair enough. That's cool.
Yep. Which I will say that was clever with that bookstore. Putting Goosebumps books on sale in the window right by the cinema showing Goosebumps. As I walked by with the kids, first thing I did was said, okay, they got 3 of them left. Okay, and when it's time, bought 3 of them. And since I had the money on me, I bought my brother a book of Hulk comic book covers too to look through.
Nice.
Yep. I really, I love the Goosebumps books.
Yeah, the Goosebumps are really great. And I'll personally admit I was always much more Animorphs than Goosebumps, but I did enjoy the Goosebumps that I did read. To the point that even though I didn't read that many of them, and even though I had some that were, I even had some that I really enjoyed that were close to me, and even I could still enjoy like the video game that I've been playing with Overshare Play with Mole and the movie. I know who the monsters are. That I still have that nostalgia, even though I wasn't as into it as some people. So you only need a little bit, and you'll get hooked, and you'll want to read more.
See, I was into it, and even I can't get into the game.
Fair
It
enough.
has too many problems. But yeah,
I haven't run into that many yet. But we'll see.
I meant stuff like just in the opening. How fucking fast was that text?
True.
With no X button to so it's like wait, then you can read and catch up and press X. It's like nope. It's like the fuck did you just say? Oh, okay, we're just gonna ignore this and carry on with the story. Okay.
Yeah. It's Goosebumps. It's unneeded backstory. You can pretty much figure it out.
You could, but I would argue the books are entirely backstory for a lot of them,
That's true.
and the books are awesome.
They are.
Which means which means the game, which we'll go into, made reading one of the things you can't really do as well on a Goosebumps game.
Yeah, that is kind of counterintuitive.
That'd be like making a Tomb Raider game and not letting you raid tombs.
Oh, wait.
Yep, I went there. But yeah.
Rise of the Tomb Raider, available on PS4, 20th Anniversary Edition next week.
But next week, buy 2K.
Yes.
And then afterwards, World of Final Fantasy. Woo.
Yeah. I'll get Rise of the Tomb Raider for Christmas. But yeah, so that's a little look at the Goosebumps books. Tell us what your favorite Goosebumps book is. Put it in the comments. What stories you like. What draws you in about the Goosebumps? What characters do you enjoy? What series? Is it the Give Yourself, the regular, the reboot? What do you like? Tell us. And stay tuned, as we said, for more great Goosebumps videos that are coming up later this month on other aspects of the franchise.
Yep. And this was a look at the books and kind of how the franchise grew. It was more book / franchise.
Yeah, a little bit. But that's okay. Gives us a good foundation to work on.
Yep.
And like we said, go out and check the books. They're at bookstores. You can find them on Amazon. Your local library might have a pretty good collection, depending on the size. And we'll see you next time to talk more Goosebumps. Peace.